care guide when growing squash and zucchini in container. I have a GreenTGarden stake about 6 feet high. This is a 5-gallon container. I recommend you guys to do at least 7-gallon. 5-gallon is the smallest you could do. Now, when grown in a container and in the ground is a big difference. In ground, the roots open up wider and it could reach a farther distance to get more nutrients and water. So in a container, you only have that much soil and space. So we have to water more and add more fertilizer. Whether if it's fertilizer or compost, you have to add more. Whichever fertilizer you're going to get, if it's an all-purpose, I recommend to get a fertilizer with calcium, or even buy calcium on the side and add it to this. Check in the description box. I'll leave some links there. Now, I water every 2 to 3 days, and we're in the 60s to 70 degrees. Squash and zucchini plant grows best between 65 to 80 degrees. Anything over 80 gets really hot and put a lot of stress from the plant. When the plant is stressed out, most of your fruit sometimes will rotten. And the other reason why your fruit is rotten could be your water. You're not watering enough, or you're watering too much, or it could be that you lack of calcium. That's why I said calcium with a fertilizer is good. Now, add fertilizer every 2 weeks because this is a big plant. It grows giant leaves. It has big stems. It has a lot of male flower. This is your male. A male is always a thinner stem at the bottom with a bud, which is going to open up to give our male flower and the pollen. The female is always thicker with a flower too. Now, if you don't have bees, always come in the morning and hand pollinate. Take pollen from your male and gently apply it to the female using a small paintbrush. Now, if the temperature get over 80 degrees, I will suggest to water at least once every day. Lightly in the morning or lightly in the evening. You could see these leaves are looking good, but this one is a little droopy. That doesn't mean you're gonna add water right now. If we water this morning, I'm gonna wait till in the evening time and just water lightly to revive the plant and bring it back. Never water on top of your leaves during the day in the hot sun, because you will burn that plant leaf. Now, if you're growing in a container and you did not use a wooden stake or a garden stake to run it upward, your plant will be curving, leaning out towards the ground and start running, taking over a lot of space. Sometimes your plant could break in the middle, and when you're growing on the ground too and it's running all over, it's hard to see bugs. Now, when you grow it upward like this and you're pruning, we prune out some of the lower leaves, we get a good airflow, we could add soil, we could add fertilizer, we could water perfectly with pruning at the bottom. A light pruning does not hurt the plant. We do not need all the leaves to grow the plant. We have about 10 leaves, we have about 8 big leaves, and we have a couple small leaves, which is perfectly fine. You could always, if you're afraid to prune, just remove about 2 to 3 leaves only, and that's perfect enough. So this is not powdery mildew or any disease. This is just the pattern on this type of squash plant. Growing your squash or zucchini plant vertically is one of the best things. If you see my Halloween scary guy back there, it's to scare the birds. Right now we're dealing with a lot of birds, bunnies and bugs attacking GreenTGarden. So it's a big battle right now, and it's so hot I can't even see anything. All right, so listen, any question, comment below. Is just a quick video of caring and guiding your squash and zucchini plant growing in a container. In a container, it's, you know, as I said, it's less space. You need more water, you need more fertilizer, it needs more attention. But it's a great way to save space, especially if you have a small backyard or front patio and you want to grow squash and zucchini plant. You need to grow vertically upward. And remember, squash and zucchini plant need at least about 8 to 10 hours of sunlight. So they plant it directly or put it directly where you're gonna get full sun. They love that sun. And remember, the flowers always open in the morning time. It open only one time in a day. So if you have to hand pollinate, take pollen from the male to the female, and that's your guarantee. But if you have bees, bees will do the job for you. You don't have to worry. Listen, squash and zucchini grown at home is one of the best tastes ever. I love it. You grill it, stir fry it, it's one of the best. All right, so any question, comment below. I would love to answer your question. And to everybody who's been watching, I really appreciate everybody who's watching and subscribing. And if you're new, welcome to GreenTGarden. We're all about growing a better home garden together. Please click the subscribe button, followed by the bell icon. When you subscribe, it helps my channel out a lot, and it's 100% free. You do not have to pay for any subscription. It's all free, and I do appreciate it a lot because my channel is growing, and hopefully I'm setting my goal to hit 100,000 subscribers one of these days, keeping my finger crossed. So I do appreciate everybody taking the time to subscribe.